What's up guys, back with another Twinmotion tutorial. I'm going to show you how I created this exterior rendering using Twinmotion. Let's get right into the video. Alright, so as you can see we have our scene set up and we have everything set up. We have max tree, we have some assets that we use from Megascans, which we have these sandstone rocks here and here. And one of the things that I did is you can actually change the scale. So here, if you go to scale, you can change the scale of these guys. And I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit, just kind of show you some of the things that I've done in this scene to make it to where I ended up at the end. So you can change the scale to any size you want. Whatever I thought that fit the scene, that's what I end up doing. So I'm going to keep it back out and keep it the way I had it. So, but yeah, and then when I did that, I actually just kind of moved it down, just kind of looked like it was sunk into the hill itself, so it looks natural. So those are some of the tricks that you can use and you can do to help build your landscape. And as you can see, I also use max tree throughout my whole scene. Just kind of zoom in. We also use the sandstone rocks here and here as well. And some of these trees are actually from Twinmotion. So I pulled these right out of Twinmotion. If you're curious, you can go to vegetation, trees, and you have your options here as well. So you can use a variety of different 3D assets from Megascans, from SketchUp, even from Twinmotion itself to help build your scene all together. And as you can see, some of these assets also came from SketchUp and some from Twinmotion. So there's a variety of different assets and elements that I use to create this scene. All right, so now that we have, I kind of pointed out, gave you a little bit of a tour of, and also the furniture as well is from Twinmotion. So now that I kind of gave you a little bit of a tour of how I created this scene, check out this Revit model. This is all Revit, was imported in as FBX, and you can go on my website at reboot.com and check this model out. It's very high quality, designed to the T, and trust me, you won't be disappointed with the results. And it came out pretty good. I also use decals as well, so let's see if we can locate our decals. So if we go to see decals, we're just going to go into our search menu here. All right, it's not coming up. So what I'm going to do, you can go to objects, decals, and we can look for the name that I use. So these are decals, but I use stains sometimes for like the swimming pool area, just to kind of add some texture and some realism. And here for this retaining wall here, I use leaking water, so that's why it didn't come up. So if I type in leaking water, you'll see every leaking water decal will show up in my scene. So I could just click, and I can click until it comes up. So now it's come up here. And one of the things that I love about Twinmotion is being able to apply these decals in my scene to increase that realism. Guys, if you're not using decals in your 3D scenes when you're creating renderings, you're missing out. You're missing out on those small subtleties, the things that help your scene come to life and make it look more realistic. So one of the things I love about it is that you can increase the size if you want to. You can also change the length and the width. And a big one here is opacity. So as you can see, I have it at 32%. So if I make it too dark, if we raise it all the way to 100%, as you can see, when I render that, it's gonna look it's not gonna look as realistic. So you don't want the opacity to be all the way at its max, and it just depends on the scene itself. But I'm gonna keep it at 32%. So those are just kind of little techniques that I use in my 3D scenes. All right, so we also added some lighting, and I'm gonna show you real quickly how I added lighting. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button for me, hit the notification bell, and if you got any questions, don't be afraid to leave a comment down below. All right, so let's see in our space here. So I kind of created a little kitchen area with a dining table. So I just wanted to put this in the forefront, so when I do render it, it looks like someone lives here. So that is one of the key things you want to do. And as you can see, I do already have some lighting in here. We have this spiral pendant light that I got from SketchUp, and that came out pretty well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add another aerial light. So let's go to lights, and we're gonna go to area light. So we're just gonna drag and drop. All right, so as you can see, we have our lighting here, and we're just gonna kind of center it, and we're gonna make some adjustments to it. So I want this to kind of come up halfway here, and we're gonna change the intensity. Intensity is too high, it's at 300. We're gonna make that about 150. And my length here, we want the length to be the size of the house itself. You don't want to make the, as you can see the box here, this little yellow outline here. So we can actually center it a little more. Okay. All right, so for my length, I definitely want to change that to 75. Okay. All right, I'm gonna move that here a little bit. And I want to change my width. I think with my width, let's change that to 160. Okay. So you can see my box here, my aerial light here. All right. So guys, I'm just showing you what I do. Now, there may be other techniques, but this is how I approach it. And okay, now that my scene is saving, guys, don't forget to save your scenes. You may come across a crash. It's possible. You don't want to lose all your hard work. So make sure you go to your settings and save every intervals of 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever works best for you. All right, so now that we got done saving, we're going to go to attenuation, and we're going to make the attenuation to 196. So the attenuation is just it's telling us how far we want that our light to go, or how deep. Okay, so now that we have our light there, we're just gonna make a few more adjustments. So we're gonna go to the material picker here, and we're gonna click on our swimming pool. So as you can see, I just used pool 01, and you can find that in materials. And let's see, where did I find that actual material here? Go to water, and you can go to pool 1, pool 2, and they even have river, lake, sea. So whatever fits your scene, that's which one you want to use. And the real cool thing about it is you can go to color. You can actually change the color settings here. You can make it darker, or you can keep it light. So we're going to keep it the same here. Okay, so now that we have all those set up here, we're going to set up our scene and stick around, because we're going to use the path tracer to render this and see how it came out. Now that you know all the elements that I use when it comes to setting up our scene, you're going to see how this comes together at the end. All right, so once you create your composition, or you pick your perspective for your rendering, we already picked ours. We're going to use this perspective. I think that this looks pretty cool. So we're going to use this perspective as our rendering. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button for me and hit the notification bell. And don't forget to check out my website at renderreboot.com. A lot of cool things, a lot of resources. Check out the ebook. The ebook, I believe, is linked to the comments. It will give you a free ebook that shows some of the settings that I use to use in Path Tracer and get some of these realistic outcomes in Twinmotion. So check that out for me. And yeah, I think we got some good things going on, and we're going to continue to push these renderings and see what we can come up with. All right, so now that we have our perspective here, we're gonna make some adjustments, guys. So we're gonna keep it at HDRI and Skydome, and we're gonna change our HDR here. So instead of our default HDRI, we're gonna go to user library. We're gonna go to our local HDRIs, and these are HDRIs that I've actually saved myself. You can actually download these HDRIs from different sources, but I say choose which one works best with your scene. I choose the evening sky, and this is an 8K HDRI, so high quality. You can actually go to a 16K, but it will lag your computer, so I'm gonna stick to the 8K. So we're gonna drag and drop that onto our scene. And as you can see, our scene looks dark, so we're gonna change that intensity to 20. So now it brightened our scene back to life. And let's see what else settings that we need to use to get the results that we're looking for. All right, so now that we have 90, let's do 135. We're gonna leave our match HDRI checked because it's going to match the lighting and the reflections that are selected in our HDRI. And we can change, well, looking at our details, that looks good. All right, so we're gonna do something a little different. Let's go ahead and hit render, just to kind of see what it looks like. So I think that would be pretty cool as a night scene if we made some more adjustments, but we're not doing a night scene. So let's increase our samples per pixel. Let's do 1024. Let's change our max bounce to 30. Let's click our denoiser, keep our emissive material selected. Our fireflies is at 8. We're gonna leave it at 8, okay? All right, so let's go back to our environment tab. So it looks like when I changed that, it brought back our intensity back to 1. So we're gonna change it back to 20. All right, so now it's looking pretty good, and we haven't even got down to the final part of our rendering. So we still got a few more adjustments to make, guys. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button for me and hit the notification bell. All right, so let's see what else we can do to enhance our 3D rendering. So now we have our exposure at 1. We're gonna keep our exposure at 1. Let's change our white balance to 5900. You want to, as you can see, gave it a little bit of a blue tinge. All right, now let's look at our local exposure. So here we want to enable our local exposure. We're gonna play around with our highlights and our shadows, and let's see, we could do 0.25. Let's do 0.35, and we'll keep our shadows at 1. So here in our lens, we have our focal length at 18. I want to move up. I want to get a little closer. I want to not be so far away, and sometimes it looks good when you're far away, but in this scene I actually want to be a little closer, so we're gonna go up 22. So now we have our details, and we got vignetting, Vignetting is going to darken our corners of our scene and our viewport, and we can change that to maybe 25%. Let's brighten up our corners a little bit, and our sharpness, let's make that, okay, let's make our sharpness 25, and let's change our vignetting to 35%. All right, so that kind of darkened a little more. All right, so now we're gonna select our parallelism. All right, so we're gonna select our composition as well. Just kind of want to see how to line up a little bit. See if we can make something interesting here. Okay. So we didn't really adjust too much. I really like how, I like this perspective. I like looking in this direction. So I think that's not too different from where we were at. So let's come up just a little bit. So here we're going to hit our refresh button, and that's just gonna save right there. All right. So now that we're done with our composition overlays, let's click none, and let's go to FX. Let's have a little fun. Let's see, we go to our contrast, and let's change our contrast. Okay, let's do 38%. Let's change our saturation to 45%. So now that we have those guys selected, let's see what we can do with our color gradient. Always some pretty cool options here in our color gradient. So I use Vice 2 for this rendering, and I think Vice 2 has some very good results. Sometimes I use Fuji, sometimes I use I think D217 or D17. Yeah, DT7, sorry. So you got different options. I even used day, midday. So it just all depends. You can pick whatever you believe that looks good, that complements your renderings, that complements the HDRI, and it complements your scene. So whatever that looks good, sometimes you got to play around with these settings to actually get the results that you're looking for. In this case, I use Vice 2. So we're gonna stick to Vice 2 on this one. All right, so I'm gonna click Vice 2. Okay, we didn't use a filter, so you can use a filter, but I'm not gonna use one in this case. Let's go to image. So we got the full HD. We're gonna go to 4K. All right. So guys, this is looking pretty good. I really like how this scene came out. And as you see that my lighting is looking pretty good. It's kind of highlighting the interior of our house, and it's really showing some reflection of the shadows, and our decals are still showing. Even though I changed the opacity in our decals, it still is very subtle, but it shows a little bit of that realism. And I love the grass, the smart grass that Twinmotion has added. I think that was a very good addition. So everything is looking pretty good, and I think we have a good rendering here. So guys, if you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button for me, hit the notification bell, and we'll be back with another one.